if you can't communicate, you are no man. And now that I've got you watching, I will go ahead, sure, and issue caveats and mention exceptions. We wouldn't want to hurt each other's feelings, after all. There's a sort of worldly archetype of masculinity that is not lordly, is not kingly, and therefore is not Christian. And that's of the strong, silent type, right? It incorporates the core aspect of masculinity as that of being a provider and protector, but it allows men to get away with providing and protecting materially and not spiritually and not holistically. Gasp. A man wearing pink and using the word holistically. So I'm going to argue that being able to speak well, and to talk to others is a fundamental aspect of what it is to be a man, that if you can't do it well, you're not being a man in full. Importantly, and this is what needs to guide our thinking, and this is what will lead to the caveats and exceptions that you can take comfort in, that man in fullness is Christ-likeness, right? We are the new humans, and we know what it is we must be. We must be Christ-like. And yet we know, and I know as I make this video and tell you how you are failing, that we sin. And the truth is, sin is so pervasive in our lives, and fallenness is so pervasive, that none of us are doing this as well as we should. The encouragement, instead, is to make this a part of what you are striving for as you strive in your walk with Christ, relying, of course, always on His grace. You are going to, even having worked at it, being conscious of it, speak poorly, choose the wrong words, be ignorant or lazy. You may have a gift of presence, a gift of gab. You will still stumble and fall. Then on top of that, there's the fallenness of everyone around us, right? So your own wife, who you've been married to for 2 years or 10 years or 40 years, misunderstands what you mean. Your kids, your co-workers. And in fact, if you examine what you meant, you can sometimes begin to realize you don't know what the heck you were doing, what you were saying. And so there's just a great fallenness around all of that. But enough with the caveats. We are co-heirs of Christ, co-heirs in Christ. We are princes of the kingdom of heaven. And so nobility is something we must strive for. And what does nobility do? It is generous, and it gives from a place of authority. And it rules, specifically rules with words. Think about the significance of the fact that Proverbs was written for princelings and lordlings. Proverbs was written for princes. You're going to be a king. Proverbs, cha. And it's in there for all of us. All right, let's process that. A book written for kings that we read rightly, properly, as being something that is for us. And why is that? Because all of us are regents somewhere. All of us have been given authority somewhere. And as men, we assume the mantle of responsibility very purposefully, first in our family, and then out there elsewhere. And we're not jockeying to try to take authority one from the other, but as men, we assume those mantles of leadership, mantles of lordship. And think about what Proverbs is. Right? So to rule is to speak, y'all. And so we bless those who are under our care by speaking well, speaking cleanly, clearly, beautifully, truthfully, wisely. And we need to realize that it's not simply a matter of bringing a paycheck home or even doing some Solomonic accounting or Solomonic decisions behind the scenes, telling your wife what the wise decision is. If it's not a wise decision, if you're not out there representing the fatherness, the kingness of it to your family. This video will be coming to an end soon. I'm trying to make shorter videos. I'm not going to get into any of the practical stuff of this, the rhetorical arts and sciences, maybe in future videos. This video is just about that idea that we all must be lordly, we all must be kingly, and that means we must learn how to speak, how to communicate, how to proclaim as kings. The peace of Christ be upon you.
What day is it today? Remind me.
It's Sunday, Mr. Pension.
Sunday. And what do we do on a Sunday morning, wherever we happen to be? We go to church, you bloody heathen!